So the next part of our analytics audit is to look into employee traffic, or basically the data that's generated on your Google Analytics account by the agencies that you work with, or by your colleagues, or by yourself. So a lot of traffic can be very skewed just by the people you work with. So what we want to do is to filter out any data that's generated by ourselves. So we really look at like unique data set of people that are actually using the website, and not just people that are testing or building the website. So what we would like to do is, if we look into our production environment, we will have 3 different views. We have a master view with all the raw data. We have a reporting view with the data that we actually look at on a day-to-day basis. And then we have testing view, in which we make any changes before we make that change on the reporting view. So we'd like to try out and filter out our own IP address from the testing view. And if that works nicely, we'll also ask the IP addresses from our colleagues to add those thereafter. So if we are on the testing view, we'll go into our admin panel. And once we open that, we go into the view, and then I hit filters, and then add the filter. Create new filter, apply existing filter. So we want to create a new filter, and then we say IP address of, let's say, Ruben Ports. So we know which team member it is. Select filter type, exclude the data, traffic from the IP address that contains or begins with or is equal to. So I would start with equal to. Problem with IP addresses is that most people, especially when working from home, they will have dynamic IP addresses, so they rotate every other week or every month. You can oftentimes request a static IP address from your internet provider, but they might not actually give it to you. So you might have to change this every other month or every other half year. So it's good to put a reminder for yourself when you set this up to check with your team whether this IP address changed. Ideally, you work in an office so that you only have one IP address. That would be ideal. But otherwise you'll have to keep that in mind. So if you want to know your IP address, simply Google what is my IP address and hit one of those links to figure it out. If you're an engineer, you probably know how to get this from your terminal as well. So you can just add the IP address in there, hit save, and then you will be able to see whether this gets verified or not. So that should be a good way to clean your data and filter out any of your own or your employee traffic, so that you don't skew your own data and don't bias yourself. So good luck with that. Let me know if you run into any questions, leave a comment below, or just send me a message directly.